This conference will now be recorded.
यो वै वेदांश्च प्रविणोति तस्मै तन्मदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने ज्ञानावागीनगेन्द्रसङ्गपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधानामिवृते। तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। यज्ञनिश्वसितं वेद यो वेदेभ्योऽखिलं जगत् निर्ममेतमहं वन्दे विद्यातीर्थमहेश्वरम्। Now begins the prose section of this text. Sri Vidyaranya Swami said, for the convenience and for the sake of easy grasp for people who may find the composition in poetry to be a little difficult, so for those people, for their convenience, the teacher elaborates the entire subject matter in prose form. Because the Sanskrit verses are such that all the words need to be rearranged, and even when the words are shuffled, rearranged, the sentence remains intact. Unlike the languages which we use, wherein the subject has to be before the predicate, so on and so forth, over here this is not the case. We could have the subject object anywhere, and the arrangement allows us to keep the meaning of the sentence intact. For example, if we say Rama killed Ravana, if anything over here is changed, Ravana killed Rama will make the sentence give up its original meaning. But if it is Sanskrit, Ramaha Ravanam Hanti, and it will be Ravanam Ramaha Hanti. Nothing. Hanti Ramaha Ravanam. Say, put the words anywhere. And therefore, with this elasticity with the words, almost 70% of Sanskrit literature is in poetry. This gives one more advantage that we can frame the sentences according to our first language. For those whose language is first language is Sanskrit, it wouldn't be a problem. But for people who have learned Sanskrit through some other language, their mother tongue or so on and so forth, now they will have to arrange the words in such a way that their original language will be giving the structure of the sentence. According to that structure. So now he says that let us not get into that. It will be instead of poetry, for convenience sake, we are giving it in prose. So how it goes. Now here we go. So far we have seen that this sannyasa is of two types. Which sannyasa are we talking? The Paramahamsa sannyasa. When does the Paramahamsa sannyasa come into picture? When does this form of renunciation comes into picture? When the vairagya is tivratara. When the vairagya is tivratara. And how is the tivratara vairagya? So that it was also told that tivratara vairagya is when a person asmin janmani bhavan putradharadayo mama itiya susthira buddhihi sa vairagyasya tivrata. So there are two things which should be there for the vairagya to be called as tivratara. Asmin janmani eva, in this life only I do not want anything. In this very life, I do not want anything. That is belonging to the world. And if you observe all the people all around you, everybody wants something from the world, whether it is money, whether it is popularity, power, recognition, pleasures, properties, everything from the world. And therefore there is a lot of competition. Now by this definition, who is a sannyasi? Who does not want anything from the world, and therefore for a sannyasi, he is a non-competitive person. He is a non-competitive person because competition is for all these things which belong to the world. And he is the one who says that I do not want anything that is offered by the world. I do not want it. Asmin janmani ma bhuvan putradharadayo mama. And how is this? Itiya susthira buddhihi, whose resolution is firm about this. So this is not a whim or a fancy or some kind of a fad. So this is his swabhava. This is his nature. That he does not find himself as a competitive member with somebody contending for something that he wants from the world. And when there is a contender, then naturally you would want to reach that place first, or you would want the other person not to reach the place first. There are only two possibilities of getting that object which is wanted when there is a contender. Either you be so fast that you go get it first, or you prevent the other person from going there. And this is how you will be able to get it. So he says, nothing susthira buddhi, and therefore such a person is a non-competitive member. in a society which is basically framed on the competition, this concept of sannyasa is alien. This idea itself is alien. In fact, even the structure of varnashram, the structure for individual and society to coexist, is the system of varna and ashrama. That itself is not, this structure, this system itself is based on a non-competitive model, where the competition itself, which we make as a prerequisite to survive in the world, is reduced to minimum. With allowing the potential and aptitude to grow in a positive manner. For example, when a potter's son will also become a potter, then he does not have a competition to face. He does not have to compete in order to be a potter, not at all. That comes to him as a matter of right. Another thing that happens over here is that because he is someone, he will want to excel in what he is doing, because biologically also the DNA which has come to him, he comes into the generations and generations of the potters. Now his skill will be enhanced further. And the skill will be enhanced not because of competition, but the skill will be enhanced because of two reasons. One is because of the genetic reasons, and the second one is because of the need for self-perfection. And therefore, we will find that there will be, so a model, a social model, a model on which the society is based over here is also a non-competitive model. Sannyasi by himself is a non-competitive member. But even to be a member of the productive society and a contributive member of the society, it is not necessary that he has to be in competition. Because with the competition, a person is consumed, his intelligence is consumed by insecurity and wanting to survive so much that half of his emotional energy and intelligence is only eaten away through these dissipations. Therefore, a sannyasi is someone who is susthira buddhi. So such a person then becomes paramahamsa sannyasi. Okay, he becomes a paramahamsa sannyasi. When a person is a paramahamsa sannyasi, we say there are two types of paramahamsas. One is called as the Vividishu sannyasi, and the other one is called as the Vidvat sannyasi. Now this is going to be explained. Vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha means a desire to know. Sannyas, which is a result of the desire to know. That is Vividisha sannyasa. Okay, now let us read. Kindly repeat these sentences after me. Loko hi dvividha
Loko hi dvividha
atmalokaha
atmalokaha
anatmalokascheti
atmalokascheti.
Loko hi dvividha. The field of experience is twofold. Loka means the field of experience. Loko hi vividha is twofold. What is there? Atmalokaha, anatmalokaha, where that it is one is called as the experience of that what is not the self, non-self, and experience of the self. Instead of saying the world of the self and the world of the non-self, that is a verbatim translation. But what is meant is lokyatehi lokaha. That what is experienced is loka, and therefore what is experienced, there are two things, I and that what is not I, the self and the not self, Atma and Anatma. These are the final two categories. You cannot have a third category, anything other than this. Whatever is being experienced, seen, known, will be either you yourself or that what is not you. And therefore, ultimately, in the final analysis, we come down to just these two categories, Atma and Anatma. So, loko hi vividha, Atma lokaha, Anatma lokascha iti. Further. Tatra anatmalokasya traividyam brihadaranyake tritiyaadhyaye shruyate. Tatra. Now, once when we have said that there is Atma, Atmaloka and Anatmaloka. Then he says, Anatmalokasya Traividyam. Now this Anatmaloka, the non-self, the experience of non-self is further threefold. Is threefold. Traividyam. Traividyam. Sir, where have you seen this kind of categorization, classification? He says, Brihadaranyake Tritiyadhyaye Shruyate. We see this explanation in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in its third chapter, Shruyate. Then he gives us the quotation directly. Atham trayo vava trayo vavalokaha manushalokaha pitraloko devalokaiti atha trayo vavalokaha. Now, the Anatmaloka is threefold. What are those three types or three types of the experience of the non-self? Yeah, Manushaloka, the experience, the loka, the experience of Manushaloka. Okay, Manushaloka. Manushya means human being, the human existence. experiencing the world as through the human faculties of experience, human experience. Then Pitraloka, the world of males, ancestors, Pitraloka, and then Devaloka, the world of the celestial beings. Okay, the Devatas, Devaloka. So now how many types of worlds do you see here? 3. Manushaloka, Pitruloka and Devaloka. Soyam Manushaloka,
Soyam Manushaloka,
Putrenaiva Jayo,
Putrenaiva Jayo,
Nanyena Karmana.
Yena Karmana.
This world of human existence, how does one find his fulfillment over here? Putrenaiva Jaya, by begetting progeny. Through progeny. Nanyena Karmana, not by any other things. Putrenaiva Jaya, through progeny. Karmana Pitrulokaha.
Karmana Pitruloka.
It is through the various Nitya Naimittika karmas, the Shastriya karma, scripturally, that those actions which are prescribed by the Shastra through injunctions, those actions, by following those actions, this is the way to find fulfillment of the Pitraloka. Okay, Pitraloko Jaya. This is how one wins over the Pitraloka. Then Vidyaya Devaloka.
Vidyaya Devaloka.
Iti. Now, through the various upasanas, meditative and devotional practices, one gets victory, one wins over what? The Devaloka, the world of gods, celestial world. So, through Putra, the Manushaloka, through progeny, this Manushaloka is won over. Through the karma, by living a life of ritualistic life as given by the Shastra, one gets the Pitraloka, and by Upasana, etc., one gets the Devaloka. This is the way the 3 worlds are gained. Okay? This is the scope of Anatma. Manushaloka, Pitruloka, Devaloka. This is the scope of Anatmaloka. Okay? So now, Atmalokascha Tatra eva shruyate. Now, this is our main thing. He says, Atmalokaha api tatra eva shruyate. What? Anatmaloka is being told. Where? In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in its 3rd chapter. He says, there itself, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the 3rd chapter itself, it is being told what is Atmaloka. So thus, Anatmaloka is being told, what is Anatmaloka and also what is Atmaloka. So he says, Atmalokaha tatreva shruyate is heard over there only. What is Atmaloka? Yohavam Asmaloka Swam Lokam Adrishtva Praiti Sa Enam Vidito Na Punati Iti. Alright. So, I'm extremely sorry, it is not in the third chapter, but we are talking about the first. Atmalokaha. It is there, it's the same. Atmalokascha tatreva shruyate yohava. And how does the Upanishad talk about what is Atmaloka? Yohava asmaloka. He who praiti lokantaram gacchati. Praiti means preta bhavam gacchati. Right. He who dies. He who dies. And by dying, what does it mean? That he will be going from here, because he is no longer available for your vyavahar, for all your transactions. If that fellow is not available, so he has gone. 80. He has gone. Where he is not there. He had borrowed the money and now you have come over there to recover the money. Is he there? Gone, escaped. Maybe he will come tomorrow. No. Prakarshena iti isliye preta. He has gone. He has gone from here. Oh. So now this fellow who has escaped, who has died. But how did he die? Asmal, from where did he go? From this loka. From where we are there, in this Manushya loka. He has gone. How? Asmal loka praiti. But swam lokam adrishtva, without seeing, without experiencing his own being. Swam lokam adrishtva. Swam lokam means Atmalokam adrishtva. He who dies without experiencing his own Atma. Knowing his own being. Swam lokam adrishtva praiti. Sa enam aviditaha no punatti. And therefore, because he does not know what is Atma, he does not enjoy the sukham of his own presence. Okay, iti. Then Atmanam eva lokam upasita Sayam Atmanam eva lokam upaste na hasya karma kshiyate iti cha. Now, it is said that when one does any karma, and now when we are talking about karma, let us consider doing punya karma. Karma which will bring results in terms of experiences of happiness. Punya karma. Karma which will bring experience of happiness. Okay, so we are talking about punya karma. So if a person does some sort of karma which in future will fructify as experiences of happiness. Will that stay forever? Whatever that you are enjoying, whether it is an ice cream or popularity or property or a new car, will that stay forever? So that ice cream which is sitting on your tongue is bound to melt and forgotten. The car for today is new. Tomorrow it will start becoming old. So all those happinesses which you are talking about, how are they? These happinesses are bound by time. They are bound by time. So now we find that this everything over here is gradually disintegrating, and so will finish. Atmanameva lokam upasita. Now he who has done the upasana of Atma, not of Anatma, he who knows what this Atma is, what is the true nature of this self, Atmanam eva upaste, nahasya karma kshiyate. For him, the happiness does not wither. It does not wither away. It does not go away. It does not expire. Nahasya karma kshiyate. It does not kshaya, gradually does not disintegrate. Iti cha. Yo mamsadi pindalakshanat.
Yo mamsadi pindalakshanat.
Swam lokam.
Swam lokam.
Paramatmakyam.
Paramatmakyam.
Aham brahmasmi.
Aham brahmasmi.
Iti avidetva mriyate.
Iti avidetva.
Iti avidetva mriyate. Sasvodokah. Paramatma. Aviditah. Avidyaya vyavahitah san. Enam. Aveditaram. Pretam pretam. Na punati. Shokamohadi. Doshapanayana. Na palayati. Long sentence, but not difficult. Yo mamsadika pindalakshanat swam lokam paramatmakyam. Now, asma loka pretya, having passed away from this world. Now, that world from here, asma loka, from here, having passed away. From here means where? Now, instead of talking to you about any other, heaven, hell, etc., going away from the earth, he says, Asma Loka means he who passes away from this particular body. Okay? Asma Loka Mamsadi Pindalakshana. From this body. How is this body? It is a pinda. Pinda means a heap. Pinda means a heap. Heap of what? Flesh and bones, muscles and nerves, all these things. from this heap, goes away from here. Swam lokam, he does not, without experiencing his own being. What do you mean by his own being? Because everybody experiences I am. What is now he does not experience his own being means not knowing, not seeing, not experiencing that this Atma is Paramatma. Okay? He who dies without knowing that this Atma is Brahman, for such a person, mriyate, aviditva mriyate, sa svolokaha paramatma aviditaha, for him his true being remains unknown. Remains unknown, that Paramatma, God, remains unknown for him. Unknown means avidyaya vyavahitaha, as if covered, hidden by avidya. It is covered, hidden by the ignorance. San enam aveditaram pretam mritam na punakti, and thus he dies. He dies like that. Dies doing what? Fighting with the neighbors, fighting with the other people, fighting with his wife. If not wife, then you have your own children to fight with. But all the time he is fighting, clashing with the world. And finally then dies. Now, here was an opportunity to be free from all grief, all suffering forever. But he wasted that opportunity in doing something that was irrelevant. Thus, praiti, pretam, mritam. And by wasting his life like that, what did he do? Shoka mohadi doshapanayana napalayati. He has cast himself in suffering. This is the dosha. The only defect of life is suffering. And it could have had gone. But instead of taking that suffering away, he kept the suffering and its cause intact. Thus, the very purpose of life is to overcome suffering. And here was your human life, in which not only that you could have had overcome suffering, but you could have had overcome the very cause from where the suffering originates. Instead of utilizing this opportunity, he has wasted it over small, insignificant events and things. Okay? And therefore, Annapalayati, what did he do? He has not taken care of himself. And such people only are called as Atmaha. These are the people who are self-destructive, who do not use this human life for the sake of knowing Atma is Brahman. Those people waste their life, and therefore they are called as Atmaha. Atmaha means actually suicidal. What does a suicidal person do? He does not do any nuksan, any loss for anybody else, but he does harm to himself. So Atmaha. Okay. But sir, the way the sentence of the Veda said that he who devotes himself to Atma, he who devotes himself to Atma, that person's karma na kshiyate, that his joy, his happiness does not evaporate, does not finish. How is that? Now this portion is being explained. Upasakasya. Now in that original sentence there was one ha. What is the meaning of that ha there? Nishchitam. That ha means nishchitam. Definitely. Indeed. Nishchitam. Definitely. Indeed. What happens? Karma na kshiyate. The karma does not finish. Kshiyate. Does not exhaust. Which karma does not exhaust? That which is giving sukham, experiences of sukham. Nakshiyate. What do you mean by that? He says, Eka phaladanena. Eka phaladanena. Upakshinam. Na bhavati. Gamita sarva phalam. Moksham cha dadati. Ityartha. Upasakasya nishchitam karma na kshiyate. The one who is dedicated, committed, devoted to Atma, to knowing Atma, his karma does not finish, does not exhaust, which means eka phaladanena upakshinam na bhavati. Now the karma which has fructified to give certain experience of happiness will give that happiness, and then it will settle down. Okay, it will upakshinam, it will be exhausted. It says it does not happen in the case of Atmajnani. Kamita sarva phalam moksham cha dadati. Everything that is desired is delivered, and also liberation. So he gains everything as well as liberation. He gains everything, joy, happiness of everything he gains as well as liberation. So now, Shashtadhyayepi Kimarthavayam Yakshyaamahe Kim Prajaya Karishyamo Yesham no Yamatma Yam Lokaha Iti Shashtadhyaye api. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad itself, further in the 6th chapter, it is said, Kimartham vayam yakshamahe. What is it for which we should be doing all these rituals? Because these rituals are done so that these rituals should give us certain results. Now the fellow, he says that all those results are already experienced. It is already there with me. Why should I strive for the happiness of these karma phalas? Kimartham vayam yakshamahe. Kim prajaya karishyamaha. What is it that I will do by gaining progeny? Yesham naha ayam atma ayam lokaha. For us, the experience is not of anatma. The experience that we want is the experience of Atma, Atmaloka. Thus, therefore, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we hear that there are two lokas, Atmaloka and Anatma Loka. Also, we hear that those who desire Anatma Loka get that Anatma Loka, and those who want the Atma Loka, who are those people? Those who do not want an Atma Loka. Okay? But they gain everything in form of Atma, as Atma. Everything is gained. And so here he says, Ye prajami shire,
Ye prajamishre,
Te shmashana nibhejire,
Ye smashana nibhejire,
Ye prajamne shire,
Ye prajamishre,
Te amritatvam nibhejire.
Ye amritatvam nibhejire.
Now, this is from the Apastambha Smriti Dharma Sutra actually. It says, Ye prajami shire, those who desired progeny, etc. Where did they finally go? Shmashana nibhejire. They finally got their place in the crematorium. They reached the graveyards. And then, Ye prajamne shire,
Ye prajamishre,
they gain the nectar of immortality. Amritatvam it bhejire. It's a nice thing. Evam cha,
Evam cha,
etameva,
etameva,
pravrajino lokamichantaha,
prajamishre, lokamichantaha,
praprajanti,
prajanti,
iti
iti,
atra
atra,
आत्मलोको विवक्षितः
आत्मलोको विवक्षितः,
इति गम्यते.
गम्यते.
Okay, so also एवं च एतमेव प्रव्राजिनो लोकमिच्छन्तः प्रव्रजन्ति. Now this etam, this desiring this loka. What loka is this? The loka, the world, the experience which is gained by a sannyasi, pravrajana. Pravrajaka means a sannyasi. So that experience which is gained, attained by a sannyasi, is desired, is wanted, and thus people pravrajanti, take to the life of renunciation. Taking to the life of renunciation because one wants to become head or one wants to, be respected by others, etc. Then that is neither is that sannyasa, and this is not at all what the sannyasa will give. Because the person is desiring anatma only, whereas that which is gained through sannyasa is to be pursued is atmaloka. If you are desiring respect from others, etc., and that's why sannyasa, then that sannyasa is not sannyasa. Atmaloka pravrajino lokaha ichhantaha pravrajanti iti atra atmaloko vivakshitaha iti gamyate. Thus, what is intended by the Shruti to be conveyed is Atmaloka. Okay, over here in this sentence also, finally what is intended, what is conveyed by the Shruti is Atmaloka. Savaesha Mahanaja Atma
Savaesha Mahanaja Atma
iti prakrantasya
Prakrantasya
Atmanaha
Atmanaha
etat shabdena
Ekashabdena
paramrishtatva paramrishtatva.
Anamrishtatva
Okay. Sava esha mahanaja atma. This great atma. Why great? Because in gaining this atma, knowing this atma, everything is gained. That's why mahan aja. Aja means unborn, uncreated, uncultivated. It is not something that is manufactured, uncreated. Mahan, Aja, Atma. This is what is told about Atma in the mantra. Then in the later part of the same mantra, same section, what is said? Etameva icchanti. This is what is. So the pronoun this, it refers to what? This Atma. What is that Atma? Mahan, Aja, Atma. Okay? This Atma, which is Mahan and Aja. This. So this is Etat Shabdena Paramrishtatva. Lokyate
Lokyate
Anubhuyate
Anubhuyate
iti lokaha.
Iti lokaha
Lokyate, so Atmalokaha. So this word is a compound of Atma and Lokaha. But what is, now we understand what is Atma. What is Atma? Mahan, Aja, that is Atma. That what accommodates everything. Great. That which accommodates everything, contains everything. Atma, Aja, and uncreated. So now somehow we have an idea about the word Atma. But what is Loka? So he says, Lokyate, Anubhuyate, iti Lokaha. What is called as Loka? That which is seen, that what is experienced is called as Loka. Lokyate, Anubhuyate, iti Lokaha. तथा च आत्मानुभवमिच्छन्तः आत्मानुभवमिच्छन्तः प्रव्रजन्ति इति श्रुतेः तात्पर्यार्थः सम्पद्यते. So now, what is the conclusion of this discussion? This discussion now concludes in saying, Atmanubhavam icchantaha. So when a person takes to sannyasa, what is the reason for his sannyasa? Because he desires to experience, to see, to know Atma. Okay? Why does he now why is he taking to sannyasa? because he desires to experience, to see, to know, all the three put together now. He desires to see, desires to know, desires to experience. But what? Atma. What is that Atma? Mahan Aja. That Brahman. Atma is Brahman. This is what he wants to experience, see. And therefore, Pravrajanti, with this purpose, the person takes to sannyas. Iti shrutehe tarparyartha sampadyate. This is what is meant by this shruti. Okay? Now, when a person wants to take to sannyasa, if that person's intention is in tandem, if it resonates with the intention shown by the Shruti, then that person is walking as guided by Shruti, as guided by Veda. If there is any other intention behind his sannyasa,
वहीं आ गया वापस.
that person's taatparyam, if his purpose differs from the purpose shown by the Shruti, then that is not going to be a Vaidika sannyasa. It will be anything else, but not the sannyasa meant by the Veda. Okay. Smritischa. So also we find the Smriti literature also supporting the same thing. Brahma Vijnana Labhaya Parahamsa Samaphayaha Shanti Dantyadibhi Sarvaihi Sadhanai Sahito Bhave Iti. I think this is a statement from Mahabharata, if I'm not wrong. Brahma Vijnana Labhaya Parahamsa Samaphayaha. Okay, now a person who is called as a Paramahamsa. Who is called as a Paramahamsa? Who is called as a Paramahamsa? No, my mother wanted to name me Paramahamsa, so my name is Paramahamsa. No. Who is called as Paramahamsa? Brahma Vijnana Labhaya. So he who takes to sannyasa or equips himself with shanti, with composure, danti, control of the senses, etc., shamadama uparati, with all those sadhanas, sahito bhave, equips himself with all these sadhanas. For why does he equip? Brahma Vijnana Labhaya, to know Atma is Brahman. Parahamsa Samaphayaha, such a person that is called as Paramahamsa. So thus now we have seen that in the Paramahamsa sannyasa, the sannyasa which is taken with the vision that one wants to know Brahman is called as Paramahamsa sannyasa. What is this? Vividisha. That sannyasa is fructified, is brought about, caused by what? By a desire for knowing Brahman. That's why it is called as Vividisha Sannyasa. Okay. Now let us see how this Vividisha Sannyasa is further explained by the teacher in the discourse. We will meet again tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayam Sutrabhashya Vande Bhagavantam Punah Ishvaro Puraneti Muktiveda Vibhagine Vyomavyaptadehaya Dachinamurtaye Namaha